What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Threesome Show with Bridget and your boy Don. What's going on with you, Bridge?
What's up?
Chilling. So, what are we talking about today?
Today we are gonna talk about age gaps and relationships. Whether like you agree with them, you don't agree with them, why people do it, why people choose not to do it.
So, when it comes to age gaps, in your opinion,
hmm
what's too much of an age gap?
Um, so I always put like a 10 year. So I'm talking about when I date up. I feel like I've always, and I don't know why this has like been since I was like 18 years old. I always told myself that I would never date somebody that was more than 10 years older than me. Um,
Okay.
I don't know why. And also I felt like if someone looked like they were like older than my father, which my father never really looked that old, like I couldn't do it. I don't know why. It just seemed, I don't know, weird. When it comes to dating younger, I never been into like dating younger. I usually try to date someone that's like around the same age as me, but I have dated someone that was about 3 years younger than me. That's the most I've ever dated
Okay.
younger. Honestly, that's the only person. Um, but I mean, I can honestly, I feel like just because of someone's age, it doesn't mean that they're not mature. Or vice versa. Um, so I don't know. Me personally, I just can't date too young, and I definitely don't want to date too old neither. I kind of want to like grow at the same pace with someone. What do you think?
So, my opinion is it depends on what sex is older. And what I mean by that is a woman dating a younger man, men take longer to mature than women do.
Mhm.
It's a fact. I don't
Yeah.
care what guy wants to throw things at the computer screen. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Women mature much quicker than men do. So if an older woman is dating a younger guy, she's already going to be more mature than a guy her age. And then
Right.
to go younger than her, that guy's going to be that much more immature. On
Yeah.
the flip side of that, if an older guy is dating a younger woman, depending on how much of an age gap there is, they may be more on the maturity level, even though she's younger than he is.
Right.
So I think it's okay for men to date a younger woman, but I think it gets really foggy when an older woman dates a younger man.
So you think it's a double standard, or it's just because of the fact that men don't
It
mature, they don't mature so later in life?
it it is a double standard, but it is based on maturity. Like it's
Mm.
based on a level of maturity, and
Okay.
women do mature a lot quicker. Like a 25-year-old woman is usually on her way to starting to get her life together, whereas a 25-year-old man, he don't know what the hell is going on. He's still trying to
Yeah.
figure out the fact that he got out of high school. Like
Yeah.
it's it's different.
Yeah. Um. Nicole said, but doesn't matter how old the youngest person is. Um. I mean, personally, so that's like the situation with Dre and Michelle and Jalen Green. Like she's 39, but she's a woman, and then the guy she's dating is 22, but which is a huge age gap. I feel like the only difference what someone can say is like, oh, why would she be dating someone with that much of an age gap? I don't know how he is with his personality, so I don't know how mature he is. He can't. I'm not gonna say he can't be mature, but he's still a baby. But it's like he plays for the NBA, so it's like he has money. Um, you know what I'm saying? So honestly, honestly I don't know, but I still feel like a 22-year-old man, regardless of his career, is still a 22-year-old man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what can I don't see what he can relate with a 39-year-old woman. You know,
So not only the fact that it's a 17-year age gap, 17-year-old age gap, um, but look at it from this aspect. Not only the seven, she's getting ready to hit 40.
Mm-hmm.
Women go through a whole nother change in their life at the age 40. They start to look at things differently than they did when in their 30s, definitely than when they were in their 20s. Um, so women hit a whole nother level of maturity at 40. He's not going to hit anywhere near that level of maturity till realistically he's about 50.
Right.
So from 17 years difference, they have their mind set on different things. And the fact that he's in the NBA, he's basically living the best life of a 22-year old.
Yeah.
So he's not sitting there thinking about, oh, when I'm not playing, I'm gonna be at the house, I'm gonna be chilling, which most 40-year-olds, 39, 40-year-olds, that's what they're starting to settle down. They've done all that already. So
Right.
they're starting to settle down and chill, they're trying to relax. And he's like, nah, I'm trying to hit the club.
Yeah. Trying to be outside.
So unless she's super immature, I don't know how much of his maturity could make up for that age gap.
Yeah. And not to mention, she also has a son that's the same exact age as him. So it's just like me personally, I don't think I could ever date this. I don't want to. I don't think I could ever date someone that's the same age as my child. Like, you know what I'm saying? And especially that big of an age
Yeah.
gap. But you're right. Maybe it plays. Maybe it's like her maturity level plays a role in their relationship. I just personally couldn't do it. Just like I wouldn't want to date someone that's too older than me. Just for the simple fact, like I just always thought like this, like I don't want to date an older man, and then when like he really start getting old, I'm with a grandpa and I'm still young, trying to have fun. Like I don't know. So that's why I always
Right.
want to date the same age as myself. But I do know men that are my age is still gonna be, either just maturing or starting to mature. Um, so
Yeah, they
I
really
don't
are.
know.
Okay, so share and AE. Share is 78, AE is 38. What about them?
I
I
feel
don't
like
even say
okay,
about a
so that
40-year difference.
at that age right there, they are both grown. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the Dre Michelle and Jalen Green and what's Russell Simmons' daughter's name? Her and that older man, even though
What
they
is it,
already called it,
Karaoke Lee?
yeah, they already called it quits. Um, I feel like to me those is babies, and I feel like the adults should know that at that age, like that's still a child, and to me, regardless that he is legal, that's still a child. Um, but I feel like Cher and the guy AE, Cher is almost 80 years old. AE is almost 40 years old. Y'all is grown. Like if y'all can look past, y'all are very grown. Like I don't feel like people's minds truly fully develop until their late 20s, early 30s. So like I don't feel like, every decision you make in your 20s is like the best decision on your life. I feel like you are still considered a child. So I feel like once you're over 30, you know, yeah, your mind is fully developed. You're really thinking about things in life. You could look back and be like, oh yeah, my mentality has changed. So I can't agree with someone that's almost 40 dating someone that early in their 20s. If he was pushing his late 20s, okay. All right. But
Like the only thing they could really have in common is money. Like that's it. Like
right.
either
And a
having money or
lifestyle.
the desire to get money.
Right.
Like a lifestyle. That's all.
Yeah.
But
That's
as
like
far as maturity wise,
mhm.
I would say they have nothing in common.
Yeah. That's like Russell Simmons' daughter. That was almost a given that um when she was dating this older guy, it was almost a given, like it was for financial security, because it was like months before that, they was like they had clips online about how her father was like cutting her off financially. So I feel like that was she
Mm.
grew up in a certain lifestyle, like, and she felt like she didn't have financial security, where she like, okay, I'm gonna date someone that does.
Let me see. But Aoki's dad. So Russell Simmons. met her mom when she was 17, and he was grown. So Kimora Lee was 17, but she
Okay.
also had her own career already. Like
Yeah.
she was already established in her career. Even though I don't see what any grown man has in common with a 17-year-old,
Right.
but she was already established in her career, so she was forced to grow up a lot earlier.
Yeah. I just
She was. Go ahead.
I just feel like, and this is my personal opinion, nobody has to agree with me. I just feel like if like you're grown, whether you're a man or a woman, because in this instance, we seen it happen like a woman date someone that's completely younger than her, and we always see older men that date very younger than them. I just I just feel like it's some type of like twisted mentality, but that's just me. Like I don't know. Like I don't, because it's like even when I was in high school, I had 20 something year olds really trying to talk to me. They was probably like 26 years old. Like there was this 26-year-old guy, and I was in high school maybe like 16 years old. Like why are you trying to talk to a 16-year-old? Like, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I feel like when it's like small age gaps, because technically, you know, a child isn't legal until they're 18. So it's like you got to think about this. Like when you in high school, say you got a boyfriend that's a year older than you, but the moment he turns 18, I don't like, because he's legal now and you're still 17. You're not supposed to have any more relations with him because he turned 18 the next day. You know, so stuff like that. Like I can say a 4 year age gap when you're young. So even if you in high school, if you was to date someone that's 4 years older than you, that's understandable, because in high school that's how it is. You could be in ninth grade dating a 12th grader. You know, I've seen
Mm-hmm.
situations like that happen. And next thing you know, they turn 18 out of high school. That's not supposed to be their girlfriend or boyfriend no more, you know? So I feel like when you in your younger years, okay, a four year age gap, but like when you in your 20s and you already passed the mid 20s, why are you looking at little ass kids? Like to me, that's a sick
Yeah.
ass mentality. You know, I don't know. That's just how I just always thought. But I feel like
Like
my age, I mean, probably before my age, it was kind of normal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of normal for men to date girls that was in high school, even if they was a little older. You know, some people parents wasn't cool with it. Some people parents didn't look at it like, you know, nothing crazy, even if it was like a 4 or 5 year age gap. You know.
yeah, I think so. And that brings up another thing. Depending on where you are in age, makes a difference in the age gap.
Yeah.
So, for example, someone who's 32 dating someone that's 49, still
Hmm.
17 years, but she's in her 30s. She may be starting to establish herself, or he may be starting to establish. So, once you get past the 30 range, it starts to make less of a difference.
Yeah.
Um, but when anywhere from your teens to probably 28, let's say 25,
Hmm.
teens to 25, you're still a kid, like for real.
Right.
Like I look at like my son, he's 23,
Okay.
and if he was dating someone that was 40, I'd be like, what do y'all have in common?
Yeah.
Like, where's the what do y'all come together and talk about? It has
Right.
to only be either finances or sex.
Right.
Because what can y'all possibly have in common? Like she's starting to prepare for her future, like
Hmm.
retirement future. Like she's
Right.
25 years to the door. Like you're just
Yeah.
starting out. So it's a huge difference as opposed to someone who is 42 dating someone
Hmm.
59.
Yeah.
It's totally different. So it depends on where you at, where both of you are in life
Yeah.
will make the difference in the age gap. Cause like 78 and 40, what was it, 78 and 42 or something like that, um, or 78 and 38 or something like that. It,
Mm.
that's still 40 years. But
Right.
at that point, she's 18, at 18, I was living on my own. Um, so another 18-year-old or even 25-year-old still living with their parents was not appealing to me. That's true. And they shouldn't be. Like, you're already doing grown up things. Like, every
Right.
week when you get paid, you're looking to pay bills. When they get paid, they're looking to buy another pair of sneakers. It's a different mentality.
Yeah.
Um, but like 40-year age difference, somebody 78. Okay, so you got teens to 25, you're still a child. Once you get about 25, 20, what about 26 on up, you're adult. 78, you're a senior citizen. Like, you're ready for the senior citizen home.
Yeah.
You're looking
Um.
for somebody to basically take care of you, change your
Yeah.
pampers.
It says, Nicole says they have no experience, so what makes them want them control? And I do think that is a reason why I don't necessarily know about women, but I could say men, sometimes I feel like when men want to sit there and date extremely young women, it's because you can't manipulate women your age. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like, as a man, what makes you want a young girl? Now, it'd be different if, like, we in a generation where it's like you can't sit here and say that 30-year-old women don't be looking good. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want a young girl. And to me, that I feel like that's because women your age see through you, and you can't manipulate them, or try to control them. So I feel
It is
like
a
that
it,
could be the case. Sometimes I'm not gonna say it's always the case. But yeah, you want someone to control.
I'm sure in the majority of those situations, it is a control situation.
Yeah.
Um, because for one, a woman in her 30s, she has different expectations.
Hmm.
She has different wants, different needs, and somebody in their 20s, like, they pretty much just want somebody who, take them out, spend money on them. Um, it's and they can control them with that aspect. They can control them because they make money now. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? The guy's making money, and the young lady, you know what I'm saying, she's probably just getting her first or second job, and
Hmm.
she's not really established.
Right.
Um, and it becomes more of it's like your child. It's like dealing with your child at that point. It
Hmm.
really is like dealing with your child. And
Yeah.
a man can tell a young girl, what you're gonna do, what you're not gonna do,
Right.
um, because for all intentional purposes, that's her dad.
Yeah. And isolate you from your family if he's taking care of you, all types of things, possibly, abuse,
Oh,
mental, physical.
you definitely see isolation in those types of situations.
Hmm.
Um, and that's very common, especially for an older man, younger woman. They will definitely try to isolate you because they don't want anybody in your ear that has common sense to start
Right.
telling you this is all wrong.
Right.
So they separate you from anybody who's going to speak sense. Now your friends that's the same age as you, oh, they let you hang around them
Yeah.
because to them you're living the life. You got an
Yeah.
older
And they gonna
man,
say that, oh, they
but
just jealous.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when you got like your aunts and them who's sitting there going, "What are you crazy? Like, he's my
Right.
age." They want the type of pull. They want to pull you away from that type of situation.
Yeah.
Um, it's I guess it's to each their own. But I'm a look side eyed to a lot of them. Depending on the age gap. Um,
Yeah.
it's really most of the time it's the only thing that you have is sexual chemistry. That's it.
Right.
Like, outside of sex, I cannot think of anything that I would have in common with someone who is in their 20s
Yeah.
at all. Like, what could I possibly have in common with them?
Yeah.
We're not even thinking about. We don't listen to the same music. We don't want to
Right.
go to the same places. We don't think alike. Like, the only thing that we have is sex. Now, if it's somebody
Yeah.
who you just having sex with, I guess that works. But a relationship, nah.
Yeah. When I did date the guy that was like 3 years younger than me, I was against it because I never in my life like wanted to date anybody younger than me. Um, It just wasn't my thing. But I can honestly say he was somewhat mature than a lot of guys my age. Um, I feel like not 100%, like his communication wasn't the best, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely feel like he was mature. So I feel like it can vary, like, it's not always, age doesn't determine how mature someone is. Even though, most men don't mature until, they late 20s, early 30s, but yeah, I don't know.
Now,
I,
there's
I,
there's
I still
definitely
can't,
exceptions to the rule.
yeah. I can't say
Um,
and be like, oh, I would date somebody else younger than me. No, because I mean, it wasn't the worst. I honestly could say that, but it was a 3-year age gap, so I just feel like it wasn't that far. I don't think I can go no further than that. Honestly,
yeah, yeah, and for a woman,
as a
so
woman, as a man,
as a
I
woman,
understand.
yeah, men, men are not normally thinking with the right head anyway. So,
Yeah,
um,
N-
I have met men who were mature, that were younger, but they were not ready for a relationship, and
yeah,
typically they're not.
yeah.
And even if they say they are, like when I was in my 20s, I thought I was ready. Yeah, I'm ready to settle down, get married, all that. I wasn't ready. I was nowhere near ready for that shit.
Mhm.
Like looking back, um, and I got engaged in my 20s.
You
That
did?
shit didn't work. I was still chasing different women and stuff. Like I was trying to get married because it sounded like the right thing to do. You
Yeah,
get married, you have kids, and you grow up together. But
yeah,
that's not the way that shit works. I was still in the club every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday every week.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
I
was
feel
I
like
really
in your
ready
20s, you
for?
gotta get that out of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that you can't go and have fun in your 30s, but your 30s ain't all about being outside all the time. Like, unless you had kids very young to where you didn't get to enjoy that during your 20s. And then maybe if that's the case, you might be outside a little bit in your 30s. But in your 30s, you really just trying to like build, really establish yourself, pop out every here and there for maybe a special occasion. But that's about it.
Yeah, like I had a friend of mine he was about 30, and he was dating this girl who was 20.
Mm,
And at first, it was cool. Like it seemed like it was working out
yeah.
till she hit 21, because now she can go to the club herself.
She
When she was
outside.
20, she was pretty much just hanging with him.
Yeah.
21, it pretty much ended probably a month after she turned 21, because she was like, I'm
Hmm.
outside now. I'm in the
Yeah.
club myself.
Right. Shoot, nobody could stop me from. I ain't gonna say I was outside, but I was definitely going out every fucking weekend in my 20s. I wasn't pressed to have kids. That's why I don't have kids to this day. You feel me? Like I definitely. I'm not gonna say I didn't want a solid relationship, but I wanted to enjoy my 20s. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go out. I wanted to go to
Yeah.
the club and stuff. I didn't want no one to. And I had this fear of someone just tying me down because I seen other women around me that like had kids very young, and it's like they couldn't get up and go do what they wanted to do. So it was just something about having that freedom. Hey, Ange.
What's going on, Ange? All right, so we got a question for the day. Now that we got a few people in here. I wish Marv was in here with us on this one, because it's more of a question for guys. But so the question is, my girlfriend wants to have a baby, but doesn't want to get married. What should I do? This was on one of the Facebook groups that I was in, and I was like, that's an interesting question. Me personally, for a woman to not want to get married and want to have a child, there are definitely some ulterior motives going on. There's
Yeah.
some things that she got plotting and planning. Um,
Mm,
I would say no. I would say don't get her
I
pregnant and end it.
so okay. So my opinion to that question would be some women really some women really like feel like their purpose in life was to be a mother. regardless of the situation. So it's like if that woman is like getting up in age where she like, I just want a child, but if she see the person that she's with and be like, you know, I feel like usually if a woman don't want to like marry a man, it's because she feels like, you know, he lacking in something. Either like, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like she just don't feel like he's worthy of being her husband, or being, you know, letting him lead her. But maybe she just wants a child though, like, and just be like, oh,
Yeah.
I wanted a child by this age, so I'm gonna have it by him, because I know he gonna help me take care of the kid, but I don't want to marry him because I don't fucking know. Because to me, honestly, it don't make sense. Why would you want to be tied down with someone with a baby for the rest of your life, but not in marriage? You
But
know?
not marry him.
Yeah.
Right. It just seems like there's
So
something else up her sleeve or something like um she could be scared too, depending on what she's been through. Maybe
yeah,
she's divorced. And that could be it. But like you said, a child is a lifelong commitment
it is.
anyway. You are connected with somebody anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't feel like they're marriage material,
Yeah.
in my opinion, they're not having a baby material either.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you right, but the only thing is I can think is like maybe age. Because you know, women do have a biological clock. And it's just like maybe if she getting to the point where it's like you gotta have a child now, or it might not ever possibly happen. And maybe like, you know what I'm saying? She really like, cause I ain't gonna lie, like I'm 32 and I don't have no kids, right? But what if like, and I go back and forth all the time whether I want kids or not, because I'm at the point, because it's like it's later in life. I'm just like sometimes I'll be like, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. And then there's some days where I'll be like, I want to fulfill that because that's something that I did always want. Um, but I feel like if it gets to a point where I'm continuously getting older and I haven't met the one, or even if I met someone and I'm not 100% like, I want this person to be my husband, I definitely would be like, if I felt like I wanted to have a kid before it got to that, I would definitely be like, trying to have a baby with me. Like, if I felt like that's something that I truly want. It sounds crazy as shit, but it's some shit that like, if a woman wants that, you don't want to wait too late. Because it's like, men, you can really have a kid at any age. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a woman, you can't really. I don't want to say you can't, because there are women that do it, but sometimes, you know, they get like, you know, go to fertility clinics and stuff like that, treatment. But I'm just saying, like, if it did get too late in life for me, I feel like I would straight ask the man, like, can we have a child, just so I can have a child? But maybe I don't want the attachment of being married to that man.
like when with my son's mom, both my sons by the same woman. She came to me and because at one point she thought she couldn't have children.
Mm-hmm.
All the doctors told her she couldn't. When they finally found out what was wrong and they fixed it, she
Mm-hmm.
came to me and she was like, now I know that I can have a child. I want you to be I want you to be the father of the child. And I was like, I'm just not gonna be the father. Either we gonna do this together or we're
Yeah.
not gonna do this. And at first I was like, nah, I don't want no more kids. I'm good. But then you start to think, okay, well, I only had one child at that time, or one child that I knew of at that time. Um, and I was like, well, if we're gonna do this, let's do this together. Let's be in a relationship. Let's raise a child. Um, and luckily for me, I was really blessed, in two instances to have a co-parent that really worked. That
Yeah.
really worked out. Very little arguments when it came to raising the kids. Very little arguments regarding finances. Kind of worked out. Now I will tell every woman out there, and I'll tell every man this too. Be very, very, very cautious who the hell you decide to have a baby with, because that is a lifetime connection.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely 18 years, but even far beyond that, unless you two are just constantly arguing, you have to come to the table and have conversations because 18 years, and then they got to go to college. So you still got to deal with each other because the child's in college, and y'all got to come together to help the child through school.
Mm-hmm.
After school, you got to show up to a wedding. with that other person. You know, y'all got to act cordial to each other because the people on the other side of the family, you know, they're like, okay, well, you know, y'all acting up. What the hell's your kid all about?
Right.
So, um, I definitely feel like what's going on, Kay? Thanks for joining. Let's see. I think in general, people also. I think in general, people also forget. Some people just don't want to get married at all. That's not a goal for everyone. It's not so getting married is not a goal for everyone. And a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth from marriage, either because of the marriage that they saw their parents go through or that they saw their friends go through. Um, and I had a friend of mine who told me he'll never get married because all of his friends was getting a divorce. And I was like, well, that's kind of messed up thinking because if somebody told you that they went to Black Swan and it was a bad experience, are you going to disconnect yourself from all restaurants or just not go to that restaurant? So
Right.
I feel like having you know, depending on your experiences, Kay, you're right. Not everybody not everybody wants to get married. That's not a goal for everybody. And in today's age, it's less of a goal for people.
Yeah. And I feel
Um,
like I hear a lot of women actually say that they don't want to get married. Like I hear that a lot
mhm.
from women that I personally know. Like, like they'll be with their partners for a long time and I'll be like, are y'all getting married or whatever? And they like, we don't need a piece of paper. I don't want to be married on paper. I've heard multiple and I don't know if it's like me personally, it's like I don't personally understand it. Like maybe it's just like having like putting your stuff together with someone. I don't know, but it's like technically you still are like but I mean it's honestly I see a lot of women that be like they don't want to get married, so maybe it's surprising because I feel like most men
So
they think that like women's the goals that women want in life are marriage and children, you know and so they look at a woman very odd when it's like she don't want what they think most women would want. And me too, I need
Ange
that
is
paper.
crazy. So for everybody who ever thinks that it's just a piece of paper, it's not.
Yeah.
It's actually sustainability and security.
Right.
Because if let's say you do get with somebody and y'all do last forever, like that is your forever person, and you don't get married. If when that person passes on or you pass on, like y'all have built some things together that still need to carry on.
Hmm.
And if you don't have that paper, you also don't have no entitlement to their benefits.
Right.
So
Or
and
or
getting
even
married honestly has more benefits.
yeah. Or even if anything tragic happens to them, like you know what I'm saying, say they like fell into a coma or something bad happens where it's like you have no decision over your partner's life if y'all are not married. And to me that's serious because what if whoever is in charge, whether it's their parent or whatever the case may be, they make a decision that you wouldn't make when it comes to your partner's
Yep.
health, but you've been with that person for 15 years, but you have no say so because y'all technically aren't married. To me that's very important.
And there's certain conversations that couples have, you know, what to do in this situation
Yeah.
that you may not ever have with your parents. You know, you may not
Hmm.
ever sit down and have that conversation. Well, you know, if I'm on life support, I don't want to live my whole life that way. I want you to go ahead and stop treatment. But if you're not married and their parents is like, nah, I want to keep them around until we find a cure. That wasn't their
Right.
wishes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was never their wishes.
Nicole gonna say,
Um,
honestly, it's not even about the importance of. I can't wait to say my husband. Me neither. Bitch, who you talking to? Let me get my husband.
um, and it's this like there's so many things that come along with getting married. First of all, let's start at the basic shit. Your car insurance goes down. Like let's
Hmm.
start there. Your car insurance is less expensive when you're married. There are tax breaks when you're married if you're married to the right person. Now, if you're married with somebody whose taxes are fucked up, You're kind of marrying your taxes too, and you got to go through some loopholes to get around that.
Right.
My husband, my husband, my husband.
Let me ask my husband.
Let me ask my husband. It's honestly, and I know, and especially for me to say this, if I can say this, I think everybody can say this. Marriage is a beautiful thing, and I just finalized a divorce. But I'm definitely one to say marriage is a beautiful thing when two people have the same goals, the same aspirations, and they're pushing for something together. You can build a lot better with someone when you're together than when you're by
Yeah.
yourself. You can do it by yourself, but it's harder.
Yeah.
Um, and something I will definitely say no to is if you're not married, do not buy a home together. Like,
Say it
unless
again,
you plan on
Don.
living in an
Say it
apartment,
again. No, say it again
bec-
because that is a major purchase in life. That's one of the biggest purchases
it is your
anyone could ever make.
biggest purchase you will ever make.
Please
Do
say it
not buy a
again.
house with someone who you are not married to. I did it. I was not married. We bought a house. But luckily, it was with someone who I just understood. Okay, so my children have to live somewhere. I can move. I can make moves.
Right.
My children have to live somewhere. But I'm not the. Every guy's not like me. Some
Right.
guys are like, nah, we splitting up. We got to split that house.
Right.
Both of y'all names on the house. Y'all are basically just roommates in the eyes of the
Right.
law.
Right.
So no matter how settled in you might get with you and your kids, and you like, yo, there is no divorce court to settle the argument.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically y'all are going to court to sue each other to sell the house and split the difference or split the negative equity or whatever.
Right.
But if you're married, you're entitled to certain things.
Yep.
So for any woman who says, I don't want to get married, if you don't want to get married and you just want to live in an apartment for the rest of your life, so be it. Like, do your thing. But if you have goals on becoming a damn adult,
Yeah.
either do it by yourself or get married.
Right. Yeah, and if one of the reasons why you don't want to get married is because you don't trust your partner or whatever the case may be, it shouldn't be no reason why you with them anyway. Like if you feel like that's not the person
Exactly.
you can grow with, then what the fuck are you wasting your time with them for? Like it can't be because y'all have children together. That makes no sense, Um, y'all can really be out here crushing some goals, together as a unit. Um, I don't know, but I
Like at
definitely
my age
agree.
now, and this goes back to our earlier conversation about age differences.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in my 20s, fuck it, let's have sex. I'm sleeping around. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
At this age now, if I can't trust you, there's no reason for me to get into bed with you.
Right.
If I can't trust you to be somebody who I'm gonna grow with,
Right.
and I used to be, I'm all for casual sex. Casual sex was cool. Da da da. Not
Not
at my age
Dawn.
now. not at
Not
my age
Dawn.
now. There's things that you are forever connected to,
Yeah.
and there's certain things that you never want to be forever connected to. I think of some of the women that I've dealt with sexually in my younger years,
Mm-hmm.
and I sit back now and I think, thank God I didn't get that chick pregnant. Like that would have been horrendous.
I be saying that. Thank
Um,
God I ain't had no kid with him.
right,
Being part of the Brady
because
Bunch.
that connection is forever, and especially if they have other children or just the mentality of certain people. I look at people now, and yes, I'm still a proponent for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I still I'm a proponent for the threesome. Hey, if you want to have a threesome, have a threesome. That's a
Boo.
couple having extracurricular activity.
Boo.
That's different.
Okay. That's Dawn's preference.
But casual sex, be careful who you lay down with. Like if you can't trust them with your secrets, why trust them with your body? Like,
Say
so if
that
it's not
again,
somebody
Dawn.
who you can have a conversation with, if you can't trust them with your secrets, don't trust them with your body. Guys, men and women, bottom line. So if it's not somebody who you consider at least at the bare minimum. She said, not the Brady Bunch. At the bare minimum, you don't consider them a friend.
Yeah.
There should be no sexual intercourse at all.
Nicole says staying with someone because you have a kid with them with a kid with them is insane. Girl, leave your baby daddy and slash boyfriend and go get your husband. And I agree because what's her name? Kiki Wyatt. They just posted her with a man. She got like 19 kids. And she still got a man. So by you having kids with a man, that's not
Wait,
stopping.
what?
No, yeah. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, she famous,
What?
but I feel like if a man fuck with you, he gonna fuck with you. It don't matter how many. I mean, I'm not gonna say some people don't have a kid limit, but kids don't necessarily stop someone from liking you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, 19, that's crazy, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like me, for example, I don't have no kids, but I'm not against dating somebody that has kids. Honestly, I always be like, 3 might be too much, but I wouldn't be against 3. But more than 3, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do that. But I'm not against dating people with kids.
Yo, 19. So, okay, so I've never really had a kid limit. I've never really thought about it that way, but
Yeah,
19 is well beyond any limit I've never had. 19?
yeah.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be. Don't let me. She got hella kids. She always pregnant. I could be lying, yo. I don't even know. Honestly, we need to fact check that. But yeah, she said yes.
To
Kiki
me,
gonna move on to the next man, and she has none out of wedlock. Kiki the goat for real.
she the goat, all right? Her uterus gonna
Popping
fall
all
out.
them kids out and still
Um,
finding the man. Hello. Yeah.
so, and this is another double-edged sword that society allows, men and women allow. A guy can have 6 kids, and most of them will be like, it's cool. He got 6 kids, but he take good care of them.
Mhm.
A woman with 6 kids, a guy like fuck that. She got 6 kids. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. It's definitely a double
and I
standard.
think that's because women focus on their children,
Mhm.
or good women focus on their children.
Right.
So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They have to be there. They have to be there for their children.
Mhm.
Men, on the other hand, it's like, okay, so a man can lay down, have a baby. All he really got to do is financially take care of them,
These
and
men
he
be
can still
having
be a
2
rolling
women
stone.
pregnant at one time.
Okay, that was almost me, but I didn't
Okay.
know about
I
the
know a
other
bunch
child.
of them. Shit. Fucking
That
basically
was
popping
almost
out
me. Like
fucking
my
twins.
my son, and so my middle daughter, my youngest daughter,
Sorry.
and my oldest son are.
Why I put 19 kids on Kiki,
mm,
y'all? I feel terrible. They say she got 11 kids.
at 11, 19. At some point, the
I'm
numbers just get
sorry.
blurred. At some point, the numbers just get blurred. 11 to
Yeah,
19.
but
My
it's like
grandmother had 15 kids.
if a person take care of their kids, and the person that's interested in you really fuck with you, and they see that you like you're a good parent, whether it's a man or a female, you know what I'm saying? That's not that, and that's somebody that don't have kids. Like that's nothing. That's not something I've ever been against. Like, oh, I refuse to date men with kids. Like, no, I'm not honestly. And when it comes to men, I honestly like to see men with their children so I can determine like what type of man he is and what type of father he is. Because then that will
Two
let me
things
know
that
like
that
if I potentially want to have a child with him, like, oh, I know he's a good father. You know what I'm saying? If I see that his kids is everything to me, that stands out. Versus when you date, like me not having kids, and I have dated men that also don't have no kids, and we go to have a child, and I really won't know what type of father you are until that time comes. And then who's to say you don't
yeah,
even take care of your responsibility? You know, it's really a risk, honestly, having kids with a man that has no kids because you just don't know. But yeah, that's why I'm
right.
not
You have
against
nothing to
it.
gauge it by.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
against
that's
dating a
true.
man with kids.
Um, so dating a man with kids, um, for one, how do they interact with not only their children
But
but
there,
their child's mother?
right,
Um, because if they're always arguing with their child's mother, now they could have just made a bad decision when they were younger and had a kid with somebody who they shouldn't have had a kid with. But how he speaks to her, no matter how she's coming at him, how
right,
he deals with her, speaks volumes as to what level of manhood he's in, like
right.
what level of maturity he's in. Because like my youngest daughter's mom, like when I was younger, we would pretty much just curse each other out on the phone for like 12 minutes, and I'd be like, okay, let me speak to my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like we never really had anything positive to say. But as I got older, when she was being mouthy and stuff, I would just sit there and listen to her, and I was like, yeah, you done?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not gonna sit on the phone and argue with you. So let me speak to my daughter so that we can get off the phone.
Right.
Because I matured. It's so easy. It's so easy to look at people with children and have preconceived notions. For example,
Mm-hmm.
a woman who has three different baby fathers. No matter how many kids she got three different baby fathers.
Mm-hmm. That's when the cow
And you're
just said.
looking at her like, damn, no saying you got, no saying three different baby fathers. But
That's
a
when the
guy
cow.
that has three baby mamas, you know, let's see, I care more about. Give us that back. I care more about how many different moms than how many kids. Three kids with one different than three kids with three.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. First time it's a mistake. Maybe even second time. Third time you're just making a series of badass damn decisions. Um, and I have four four biological children. I have two other children that I claim as being my own, but four biological children, three different baby moms, and I can honestly say out of all of
Oh
those,
wow. Sorry.
only one of them was a mistake. Um, I plan all my children with the exception of one. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
My
We're not
oldest
judging
daughter.
here. We're having open conversation.
Yeah, this is a no judgment zone.
No
Some
judgment.
days, because some days y'all be giving it to me. But like my oldest daughter, I planned her. Now her mom may not have been included in that plan, but I was planning to have a child. She just didn't know that
He
she
said,
was
he,
in that plan.
he said, you gonna give me a baby.
Right. I know I want a baby. I know who I want a baby with, and since we both here, and you're not really objecting, sounds like you about to have my baby mama.
Mm-hmm.
And then my two sons, they were both playing. My youngest daughter, I don't know what happened there, but there's also a difference in the interaction between the planned children and the unplanned child.
Yeah.
She can't stand me, and because she listens to her mom, like she, and that's another thing. When you're dealing with somebody and you decide to have a child with them, yo, figure out who they are as a person. Because
Mm-hmm.
them bad mouthing you around your child, even if
Right.
they're not saying it directly to your child, bad mouthing you around your child will definitely control how your child feels about you.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
it bleeds onto them, you know. But the one good thing that I did take from the comments today, most everybody in the comments definitely agrees that you should get married and have a baby, or have a baby and get married, but you should have a baby with who you decide to marry, who you plan on marrying.
Right.
Um, I think so many the newer generation, they don't look at marriage as being a not so much a necessity but a desire.
Mm-hmm.
I think anybody at this point that's under 30 probably don't see marriage the same way as the 30 and ups.
Yeah. You
Anybody
know,
under 30, they see marriage as a byproduct and not a goal.
yeah. You know what I think too though is a lot of the problem why people are like scared to get married. I feel like social media has a big play in it because I feel like you see that you have access to all of these women and men across the world. And it makes you think that it's like it's so many options out here. Not realizing that most of what you see on social media is like just either bits and pieces of someone's life or just like an illusion. It's not even real, you know.
Yeah.
And so it makes you feel like even if you do have someone who is a good person, and you be like, you know, or you've been with them for a while, you feel like I don't want to settle for this because you see all of these options that you think really exist when in reality it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because I feel like some of the older generations, you know, and things happen when people don't work out. That's cool, but I feel like some of the older generations think of that too. So that's why, like, I've seen people who've been married like 25 years and then want a divorce because it's like you see social media and it seemed like you got all this access and you're not realizing like this shit really fake out here, you know. Which back in the day, people didn't really have access. I mean, they had access to the internet, but it wasn't like you know, even in the like
Yeah.
90s, early 2000s, you didn't see pictures, you know what I'm saying? Like you wasn't,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's very like, you know, very open where you seeing people's lives, like, you know, in the 90s and stuff, you just chatting with people, you writing people, you don't even know what the hell this person look like unless you get their number or something, you know. Even then you probably would have had to send them a picture through the mail, like, you know. So I feel like how the world is now, it just social media and stuff, it just, you know, makes people think they got all these options, and it's like, nah, I don't want to settle with her or him because I know he's good, but I might can find better, I might can find richer, or I can find prettier, whatever the case may be. And I think that's dumb as shit, you know.
Yeah. I've done the single thing a few times in my life, and there is definitely nothing worse than staying at the four walls on the times that you're not spending time with somebody. It's not good. Like, to me, it's not. Like,
Yeah.
when you're sitting there thinking, damn, I just want to sit back and cuddle up and watch a movie. And you sitting there calling people and like, nah, I'm busy, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
got shit to do. Somebody called me before you did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer that I know when I get home from work, there's somebody there.
Yeah.
Somebody who I can have a conversation with,
Yeah.
I can gripe about the damn job with. Because your boys
Yeah.
don't want to hear it, your girlfriends don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to hear what the hell you're going through. They got their own shit they're going through.
Right.
But if
Yeah.
you're going through something together with somebody, you know, y'all have a connection on that. So,
Right. Yeah. That's
um,
honestly, that's how I feel. Like, man, so it's like I'm 32, I don't have no kids, and I'm also single. And then it's like you notice everybody else around you. Like me, I notice everybody else around me, like they have kids or they're married, you know, and it's like, you know, it's like you just feel kind of like isolated, like by yourself. You know, you don't want to interrupt people's lives, but it's like, you know, when I want to get up and travel, I can't be like, oh, getting up and travel with my man. It's like, I'm sitting here like, damn, I'm going to have to go here by myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want
right.
to ask my homegirl because she married. And it's like, I don't want to take away from, you know, her with her husband, you know? So, yeah, like, I definitely feel like life is definitely much better when you have someone to share it with.
It is. And even if you, let's say, everything works out in your favor and you make it to the top, there's nothing worse than making it to the top by yourself.
Exactly.
Because who you going to share that with?
Yeah.
Um, you know, you can go on trips with your girlfriends if they're not married. You know, you can go on trip with you know what I'm saying, with your homeboys if they're not married.
Yeah.
But if they're married, you are really pulling them from the situation, and they're wishing that they can be you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now they're
Usually
looking
that's
at their marriage going, what the well, shit, no shit, I could be like him. Not realizing that
yeah.
you're looking at their life and
Mm-hmm.
thinking, damn, I wish I had that. You know, I wish
Yeah.
I had somebody I
Yeah.
could go on trips with.
Yep. So I feel like well, I
Um,
guess with that lesson is like enjoy whatever phase God leaves you in. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
Cause it's like everybody always wishing the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like it be people that have kids and be like, I wish I didn't have kids. You know, cause you can't do stuff or whatever. But you gotta realize, like somebody like me who has no kids and I'm also single, it's like sometimes I be like, dang, at least y'all got some little broke best friends to enjoy y'all lives with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta
Right.
go kidnap my nieces and nephews to have a good time, you know? So, honestly, like people with kids be like, oh, sometimes they be like, oh, I wish I didn't have kids. Not realizing people who don't have kids be like, I wish I had at least a child, even if I didn't have a man, you know? Um,
Yeah.
cause you
So,
enjoying your life with somebody.
Ange said her boyfriend says he never goes on trips with his homeboys because their goal is to go out and fuck, and he's not with it. Ange, listen to him because I can honestly say to him, I've been in that situation
Mm.
um, where even my married homeboys was like, you know what I'm saying, yo, when we get to here, I'm trying to hook up with something. And I was like, I'm good. Like, I don't have to cheat. Like, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I know, okay, so I might have to go this weekend without doing nothing. When I get back home, I'm good. So, Ange, if he says that, take that shit to heart. Because not every guy is willing to stay committed to the person that they're with. And when you're hanging out with your boys, even if that isn't your goal, some guys know I just shouldn't be in certain situations because anything could happen.
Yeah.
Um,
And you might not want to be tempted or be guilty by association.
yeah, and Angie's right. It is the married. It's the married ones
Oh yeah.
who are not sitting there. They're not sitting there telling each other, "All right, yo, what we gonna do is we gonna go hang out as the boys."
Yeah.
No, no, they like, yo, when we
Yeah.
get out here, nobody can ever find out.
Right.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
until somebody
Nicole said
does
the
find
married
out.
ones is the most single, and that is very true. Because even when I used to like married men scare me because even when I used to work about old jobs, like I used to sit in the office and like some of the managers was married and they just like, yeah, I'm going to New Jersey, meet up with my high school sweetheart. I'm getting a hotel. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I've heard every fucking type of story you could think of from married men where I'm like, damn, like y'all motherfuckers that y'all make me don't even want to get married. Like, you know, because honestly, I don't know if I can handle that much of a trip. Mm,
Andrew's crazy.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like if I'm dating someone and you cheating, like you're not dating, but like in a relationship when you cheating, but like if I get married to somebody and then you cheating on me and I'm your wife, yeah, you might as well call the fucking police because I'm going to jail for real.
So and the bad thing is for that woman who feels like she's doing everything right.
Yeah,
She making sure he's taken care of. He's not leaving the house hungry or horny, and he still go out and cheat.
yeah.
Like everything goes through her head at that point.
I just feel like don't fucking commit to me in life if you feel like I'm not the only one that you need in life. Like, fuck no. I'm sorry. That's like, to me, that's the most absolute disrespect, the biggest slap in the face. You could have been single. You know, you could have been real with yourself. That's one thing. Like, I have a brother, and I don't really talk to my brother. But one thing I can respect about my brother, and I asked him when we was teenagers. I asked him one day, I'm like, would you ever cheat on your girlfriend? He was like, no. He said, because for all of that, I could be single. And that's one thing, like me and my brother never like agreed on a lot of stuff and like, but I respect that. You know, I feel like if you want to be single, if you feel like you can't be tied down to one woman, go out there and be single. Don't sit here and marry someone and hold their life up and feel like y'all are building something together and you got this whole secret life. You know, I don't respect that.
It is so easy, and what where guys make their mistake at, and I'll definitely say I made this mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Is you think when a woman says something to a guy, and they're really looking for honesty, and they say, "Look, do you want to get into a relationship, or are you just
Mm.
trying to smash and be done?" The guy is sitting there thinking, "All right, this is the question. So if I say I'm ready to smash and be done, she may not give me the pussy. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
lie to her and say I want a relationship." And then you turn the corner, and now you're in a fucking relationship. You know what I'm saying? When all you had to really say was, let's just smash and be done. Be
Right. Yeah.
honest. You never
Yeah.
know how that shit gonna turn out.
Yeah. Nicole said
Be
men won't
honest.
cheat. Nicole said men won't cheat on their barbers, but their ladies, that's where they have to draw the line. That's fucking fact. That is a fucking
That's
fact.
facts. It is
That's
fucked
fact.
up.
Because I do
It is
so many
facts.
men's hair. I do so many men's hair, and they be like, "Oh, my barber out of town." I be like, "Do you got another barber?" No, I gotta wait till he get. They will not fucking cheat on their barbers, but be out here having a field day on their fucking woman. Like, get the fuck out of here.
So
That shit don't
fucking,
make no sense.
that is fucked up. And they do that shit based on how their barber's gonna feel about that shit.
Yeah.
But they won't give a shit how their woman's gonna feel.
Okay.
Get the fuck
Can't
out
have that
of
much
here.
loyalty
Yo,
to a
y'all got
damn
the
barber, but
game
not
fucked
your
up.
woman who take care of you though. Like, come on now.
Yo, any guy who feels that way, y'all got the game fucked up for
Yeah.
real. All the way fucked up.
Yeah.
Um,
Cause if your ass go
I
broke, your barber gonna let you hold something? Come on
hell
now.
no. That nigga ain't even gonna cut your hair no more because you ain't got no money.
Exactly.
That
He
that
gonna be like,
shit
let me
is
know when you
definitely
got it.
your barber is a pay for play situation. If you don't pay, he don't play.
Mm-hmm.
Your woman is there for you through thick and fucking thin. Any guy, and that's some new shit. That's all this new age shit. Cause
Yeah.
I went to whatever fucking barber was fucking open when I was younger, and now shit for the last I don't know probably 30 years I've cut my own damn hair. So
Yeah.
if I'm cheating on my barber, I'm cheating on my damn self.
Yeah.
But for guys to be like, and Nikel was what she said was really true because I was
Mhm.
with one of my homeboys at the barber, and he was like, "Yo, when you was out of town, I needed a haircut. Yo, I was about to have to go check, you know, saying go see another barber, whatever." He's like, "But I was like, yo, I couldn't do that to you." I'm
Yeah.
like, "What, nigga?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even have that conversation with another male. Oh, I couldn't
Yeah.
do that to you. That just sounds real homoerotic. You know what I'm saying?"
Seriously. And let me tell you, as a woman, and as a woman who does a lot of men's hair, men have definitely cheated on me as their hairstylists. They brought their ass back, but they won't cheat on their fucking barber. So that tell you something. That tell you something. For real.
That's some shit. Yo, guys, what the fuck are y'all doing these days? I don't get it. I don't understand. Um, help me, help me understand. Please tune in when you watch the show. There's a whole comment section. Leave comments. Help me
Mm-hmm.
understand how your barber is more important than your woman.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good barbers out there. There's very few good women. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Trust me, you'll find another barber way
For,
before you
for
find a
for
good
a
woman.
temporary lineup. Like that shit gonna grow the fuck out. Calm down. Like, come on now.
Hmm. Shit. If that's the case, just break out your own razor. Be a haircut. I don't know what the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you can't be asexual. And I trust me, you will run into some women out there who will fuck your life up.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. I know
Yeah.
I had parked my car by my homeboy's house. And I told this girl, I lied to her, but we wasn't in a relationship. I just didn't want to
Mm.
be around her that day. And I told her, I
Yeah.
was like, yo, I got shit I got to do. And she saw my car parked outside my boy's house and put lipstick all over my car. I was like, yo, I wanted to kill her. And it was just lipstick. I
Mm-hmm.
probably was overreacting, but still, I was like, yo, that's my car. My car
Mm-hmm.
didn't do nothing to you.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have a friend who was basically talking sense in my head, I would have fucked her up.
Yeah.
And then my whole life would have changed. Guys, ladies, yo, just be careful who you deal with. The world is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
This world right now is crazy, and the shit that you see on social media is fake.
You heard
That
what the
shit
fuck
is
Ann said.
not
She said, yeah, shit a
real.
lot.
Yeah. See, Ange, you totally on my side. She put lipstick on my car.
It's
We wasn't in a
lipstick.
relationship.
She ain't keep that
But
shit.
still,
She ain't throw no
you know
eggs
how
on it.
hard it is to get lipstick off your car? Oh my God, it's wax. That shit is hard to get off your car. But yo, anybody who's in a relationship, like if you feel like you found the one, do everything you possibly can to make that work. Like build upon
Yeah.
that. And it takes work every single night. Um, are you safe from consequences? Yeah, that's um, everything takes work. If you got a car, you got to get the oil change, you got to get the tires rotated. It takes work to own a car. It takes 90 times more work to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
But it's easier to work on your relationship than it is to fix it. So if you work on it daily, if you work on it weekly, you don't have to fix major repairs because it's
Right.
already always being worked on.
Right.
Anybody who's not in a relationship and you're looking for one, bottom line is find someone who is compatible with you as far as your needs, your wants, things that you look for. That love language shit is really serious. Um, Whatever your love language is, make sure that they speak that shit fluently
Right.
because that shit's very important for women, and it's important for men. They just don't realize it.
Mm,
Guys don't realize how important that love language is until they're not getting it.
yeah.
And even though they can't put their finger on what they're not getting, it's a part of that love language. That sex language is also important. Make sure that you they speak that shit fluently. If you like to have threesomes and she's like just me and you
Hell
in the
no.
room, that's it, then that's not the person you want to be with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if y'all have the same morals when it comes to that and y'all don't believe in playing, that's fine. But have
Yeah.
those conversations because if you speak Spanish and they speak French, y'all ain't really talking to each other. Y'all talking at each other.
True.
Um, yes, don't even get involved with someone who doesn't understand your love sex language. Absolutely, that shit is
Yeah.
important. And
That's something I can't do.
what
I can't.
the what the threesome shit
First
or
of all,
the love sex
hell no, I
language?
can't do the threesome. I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who doesn't understand my love language. You said the threesome
You
shit?
know I'm always gonna mess with you about that shit because your
No.
whole face becomes contorted when you hear that shit. Who the fuck? No.
Scary?
Uh,
No, like no, of course not the three. But I'm talking about somebody with my love language. Like my love language is really like touch, like and it's not necessarily like I just like hugs and stuff like that. Like I don't know why, but that is really my love language. And if I feel like someone isn't showing me that type of affection, um, I can't get with it. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm like big on that type of affection, like very big. So I don't know. Somebody's like, don't touch me, very distant. It's a fuck no for me.
and so my love language is actually also physical touch.
Mm,
And I never knew how important that shit was
yeah,
until I got older. There were so many women that I dealt with that physical touch wasn't their thing. Like they wasn't big
yeah,
on that shit.
yeah.
And I never really paid attention to that shit until I got older and I actually took the love language test and I found out what my
Mm.
love language is and I was
Oh,
like,
I never even did
oh,
that.
that's why I didn't like them. Oh shit, they didn't even like to
Yeah,
touch me.
yeah. I never knew they had a
Um,
test.
oh yeah, it's a love language test. I think there's a sex language test too.
Okay.
Um, and you can find out exactly what your love language is, what your sexual language is. So this way you can pair yourself with somebody with similar. It doesn't have to be
Right.
exact.
Yeah.
Um, but someone with similar because you have a first and a second. So you
Hmm.
have your first love language and then your second love language.
Yeah.
Your first, of course, is your most important. That's what your most desire, and then
Yeah.
your second is what you fall back to.
Okay.
Um, my ex hated touch. So he made excuses. AKA he hated me. So I say, be careful. So
Yeah.
um, your love
Sorry.
language is extremely important because if someone's love language is acts of service, for example,
Mhm.
um, acts of service has so many different layers to it. So not only do you need to let somebody know that's what my love language is, acts of service. Which act of service is it?
Right.
Just doing things for somebody, in for somebody who's physical touch. If I do something for you, that's an act of service. I provided a
Right.
service,
Right.
but that may not be it because it may be security.
Mhm.
Their act of service may be just making sure that they're secure.
Right.
So, like finding out what somebody's love language is, and I implore every couple, especially when you're first dating with somebody, take that test
Yeah.
together.
That's a
Take
good
that.
question. I feel like for people to ask when like when they start dating someone to ask them what's their love. That's not something I would have like really thought to ask somebody. Like, what's your love language?
Even your love language, your sex language. I dealt with somebody and their sex language was basically they like to cuddle. I like to fuck. See, that's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Um, they wanted to have romance in the bedroom, and I felt like romance is something you have before and after. Sex is
Yeah.
sex. Sex is something that you're both using to satisfy each other's body. That's it.
Yeah.
Um, and she'd be like, "Oh, I want to turn on music," and I'm like, "Yeah, you can turn on whatever the fuck you want as long as we're fucking. I don't give a fuck what the hell you turn
Yeah.
on. The lights, I don't care, but we need to be fucking."
Yeah.
Um, but for her, it wasn't happening unless the mood was right.
Yeah. I
The
feel
mood
that.
should be in the mood for fucking. That's the right mood.
She needed to get in the mood, Dawn.
That happens before and after.
Oh my god.
Before for this moment and after for the next moment. That's
Mhm.
that's the reason that those things happen.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like
and
something
women,
else though.
go ahead.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
I
I
can hear you.
feel like something people when you dating someone too, I think as long as you're self-aware, I feel like something you should both talk to your partner about is like openly admitting things that you areas that you lack in, so possibly that partner can help you and they know how to deal with it too. Like me, I feel like I'm not the biggest dating wise. Like if I'm dating someone, I'm not the biggest like on like confrontation or like communicating my feelings when they're hurt. And I know this as a Cancer. So like when somebody does something that I don't like, I tend to like hold it in, hold it in, hold it in, hold it in, and then boom, I blow up. And they're like, where the fuck all of this come from? You know what I'm saying? So I can honestly say like that's something that I lack, but I feel like people should be honest because and I'm very self-aware that I do that. And even though I'm aware of it, it's like going into something I wouldn't want to intentionally do it, but I know it's a habit of mine. Like. So I feel like people should definitely be honest about, the areas that they lack. So maybe the partners know how to deal with them when it comes to that and help them, deal with it.
I agree, but here's the thing: when you ask somebody that
Hmm.
question, actively listen. Don't
Yeah.
don't ask the question just to check a box because I'm not a that I am the most romantic guy in the fucking world. I
Hmm.
am not romantic. To me, hey, romance, check off. Okay, but that's not what romance is to women. But I've never told a woman I am the most romantic. And most women that I've ever had a problem with, the problem that I had with them was that I wasn't romantic. And I was like, I told you I was romantic.
Yeah.
Ever. I told you I'll protect you. I got your back.
So my question is, do you still feel like you're not romantic in the bedroom?
I do better.
So that's the thing.
I'm not,
feel like when it comes to personal growth, you have to do the things that you know that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you grow as a person. So, and I'm just using, like, you know, yours as an example because you like, oh, I'm not that romantic. It's like that should be something that's like you pushing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just like I'm saying, I'm not the best at communicating my feelings. That's something that I need to actively try to do. You know, if I was dating someone, because that's the only way to get better at something. You know.
like, when it comes to having fun, we can have fun. I'm all that, but and like I said, I do better, not a lot better. I do better, a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, I'm always gonna say I'm a work in progress when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely I have not mastered it by far. I can do some romantic type shit,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as like wooing your romance, I'll woo you with jokes. I can make your ass laugh, but I can't woo you with romance. Like
Come on, Don.
I just can't. Like
you can. First of all,
and
don't say can't. Can't shouldn't be in your vocabulary.
okay,
Because
I
you can
have
do
a
anything you
hard
put your mind
time.
to.
I have a hard time with romance because romance to me when I was younger was you spend money on them. Like, all right, I bought you some Reeboks. Yo, you good? All right, that was some romantic shit. Like, till we go buy some more Reeboks. I don't know. But as you get older, women are like, no, you know what I'm saying? I want you to plan out a whole picnic and I want to go for a walk and then we stop in the park and then we have a picnic and you bust out with some balloons out of nowhere. And I'm like, where the fuck is all this shit happening? Stop watching movies. Like the shit don't fucking happen.
So you don't
and then
like
some
you
guy's
don't
gonna come playing violin for us.
Yeah.
And I ain't playing none of that shit.
Disappointed,
Nah,
Don. I'm disappointed. No, because you don't because I'll tell you one thing that I don't know if it was my sister. I think it was my sister. She told me that like I live in a fantasy world. Cause it's like if it was my choice, that's how life would be. A man would come and rescue me on a fucking horse. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some real romantic type of shit. So I don't know. And I don't know if it was her that said that, but not everybody likes, you know, some people are more logical, I guess. I don't fucking know. But I mean, I don't think like I don't know. To me, it's just like if you care about something and you want something bad enough, you're gonna do your research. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, Angie's like that little person that sits on your shoulders, like, yeah, you just said that shit, nigga. Angie's like that little person.
Exactly.
Yo, Ange, I love you. Yo. She's
out.
like that little person that sits on your shoulders, like, no, you know, you just said it, right? You just said everything you need to do.
Exactly.
But it's putting it together and make it happen. That's the non-romantic
You just have to put in more effort. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I feel like anything that like you want to get better at, like you have to do your homework. You got to study. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like.
Ooh, she said there's a word for that. Weaponized incompetence. Okay. Ouch. So some things are easier said than done. A lot of things are easier said than done. Now, can I plan a date now? Yes, I have now I can now say that I've graduated to being able to plan a date and make it happen. You make a phone call, send an email, send a text message. Shit, hire someone. Now that part I'm good at. I can hire someone.
But that's just like saying like, oh, you get a new job tomorrow and they train you and you not gonna sit here and try to perform your job the best of your abilities. You know what I'm saying? Like just like you said, a relationship is like you gotta take care of it. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're not the best at being romantic, do your homework. And and that's not always having to be expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like there's so many things you could do that's romantic. You could sit there and make it a habit of writing your girl a love note every day, so that when she wake up, that's the first thing she see. That costs nothing.
So romance, the romance part that's hard for me, and it's not that romance is hard. It's planning. It's because women don't want, like we had a conversation on one of the previous shows.
Mm-hmm.
Women don't want the spur of the moment. They want to know that you thought about that shit. You put some shit together. When you go to a restaurant, they want to be like, okay, so you had to get reservations for this shit a month in advance.
Yeah.
It's hard to yeah. Sorry about that, Edge. The dog. Me and him gonna have a conversation after the show.
She said, "Show the
But
dog."
it's it's easy for me to do something spur of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, me and him gonna have a real conversation. I don't even know what he's barking at. So it's not that it's hard for me to do something romantic. And I think we had this conversation. Y'all beat me up on this one. It's harder for me to plan something
Yeah.
romantic. I can do something spur of the moment. Now, what I will say, I've graduated, I got all the credits I needed and I graduated to the next level. I can now plan a date successfully. Especially since y'all all beat me up.
We didn't beat you up, Don.
Oh no, y'all beat me up. I was taking blows. I was
We
like,
wasn't
oh
beating you
damn,
up.
like
We was just helping each other out. That's what the show is for. We're helping each other
that's what
out.
this
We're
show is
helping each
all
other get
about.
better
Yes.
and helping each other grow. It all
So
happens.
I
You taught
can
me some stuff. I might not felt like it was on the spot. You definitely taught me stuff.
so I can now successfully I can plan a date. Um I can I can put the wheels in motion to make some things happen. Am I still growing? Sure, because now I know you gotta check the reviews when you plan certain things. You gotta check the reviews. You gotta make
Mm-hmm.
sure that where you're going is a good place to go.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't always know that. Not that I didn't know that. Let me not say I didn't know that. Because you know what? I'm gonna agree with Angie right now. All that shit's been excuses. Fuck that shit. Like I'll agree with Angie
Taking
because
accountability. Taking accountability. We love to
it's
hear
growth.
it. We love to hear it, Don.
It's growth.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I,
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
it was excuses. Cause you know what? Now that I think about it, in reality, if I'm buying DJ equipment, I do the reviews on it. I check the reviews. I see what other people thought about the shit. So why not do that with everything else?
Exactly. See, but
You
this
know
is
what?
a part. This is a
If
part of growing. That's a part of growing, and ain't nothing wrong with it. There's no shame in it.
That's right. If this show didn't help nobody else, it helped me. Damn it!
Yeah.
So y'all need to pay attention. The show will help you too.
It's helping all of us. It's helping all of us. Seriously though.
That's right. That's
it's
what
been
this
a lot
show
of
is all
stuff that I've
about.
learned on here too. You know what I'm saying? So and it's cool. It's no shame in taking accountability on many things. I procrastinate on things all the time. But yeah, it's all about learning.
It's everything in life is all about building, but nothing more so than relationships, like than having relationships, because you're dealing with someone totally different from yourself.
Yeah.
And even if they have similar ways,
Yeah.
they are still different. You're still dealing with a man and a woman.
Right.
Even if it's a man and a man or a woman and a woman, there are still differences between y'all.
Right.
It's not going to be the same. If it's exactly the same, y'all will get on each other's fucking nerves.
Right.
The best relationships,
You get bored.
You have some things that you're learning off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
You will get very bored if you two are like twins.
Mm-hmm.
Even twins are different. Like
Yeah.
two twins couldn't date each other and say we're exactly the same. No, you can't because
Right.
you have differences. There's things that you pick up through life that makes you different,
Yeah.
and feed on those differences. You know, make those differences work for you as opposed to against you.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely say, like, within the last, I've learned more hanging out with all of the ladies of the threesome show over the last few months because, first of all, ladies have the ability to be super fucking honest. Um, so that's one thing, but also, um, women help you see a different aspect.
Yeah.
Cause guys are gonna be like, my homeboys might be like, ah, yeah, you bought us some shoes. That was romantic like a motherfucker. That was
Mm-hmm.
some romantic shit. Yo, bravo to you.
Right.
But women gonna be like, you bought us shoes. Like,
Right.
okay, so you spent money. That wasn't romantic. You just spent money. You threw money at the problem.
Yeah.
Um, and when I was just sitting there and I had the epiphany, I was like, yo, when you buy DJ equipment, I do all my research. I
Mm-hmm.
watch YouTube videos, I watch other DJs, how they dealt with it.
Probably on
But then when I'm doing
TikTok.
something,
And,
hell yeah,
and the thing
I'm
is, you
trying
go
to
on
figure it out.
TikTok. TikTok can teach you anything. TikTok can probably show you 50 dates or 50 ways to be romantic and not spend money, like all types of things.
Hmm.
So it's just about doing your homework, you know?
So everybody who tunes into the show, I'm here to tell you, you will learn some shit on this show.
Yes.
Um, we it's the two of us you see on camera is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many people who are behind the scenes who are talking and giving their opinion and making this thing work. I promise you, you will learn some shit. If you
Yeah.
don't learn it about yourself, you'll learn about the person that you're with.
Yep.
Um, TikTok gets you right. We're not gonna talk about TikTok. TikTok will get you spending money all over the damn place. Um, TikTok have
I don't know what's going on with Don. Angie said, better go to a museum. Right. Most museums is free. It takes really nothing, y'all. Just show some effort. And that goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you, as a woman, if you got a man that's going out his, oh, I got cut off.
oh, there we
As a
go.
woman, okay,
There we go.
sorry.
So you learn a
Um,
lot because there's nowhere to run. Like you're right here.
yeah. But
Um,
I was saying to the ladies, like, you know, if a man is like showing effort, you know what I'm saying, pay attention to your man too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you can equally show some effort towards him too. You know, it's very simple. If you know your man's favorite candy is this, you know what I'm saying? One day surprise him with it. Like, you know, or surprise him the same thing. It's about doing for each other and loving on each other.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's not one sided. It's never one sided. And
Yeah.
as soon as it becomes one sided, the relationship is doomed to fail.
Yeah, show
Um,
appreciation to your partner on both ends.
and that's honestly one of the reasons. And I know we way over time, but that's cool. That's why we own the show. We can do that shit. Um, One of the main reasons that the younger generation is not so hyped on marriage is
Hmm.
because most of them come from a single family household. So they
Yeah,
don't know the joys of marriage. They don't know the
right,
beauty of marriage.
right.
They've seen their mom be with different guys, and not in a bad way. Not saying that she was out
Yeah,
there with a, but
yeah,
just they've seen her mom go through different boyfriends, and they've seen their dad go through different girlfriends, and no one's settling down.
right.
So if you don't know the joys of marriage, why would you even strive for something you don't know is the joy of? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, if no one ever told you that all the money in the world could buy you anything you want, you wouldn't strive for money.
Yeah.
So that's the everybody under 30, because in society we have done so much damage to the family aspect. No one has anything to look at to gauge from unless their
Right.
grandparents are still around, or
Yeah.
if you're under 30, it's probably your great grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Really, unless they're still around, you don't really see the positives of marriage. All you see is, I'm gonna get it on my own. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do my own thing, and if he so happen to come along, great. If he don't, fuck it. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
But there really is a lot of positive aspects to marriage. I know the one good thing about our show is when I look at the demographics, it's our demographics fall in the 25 to 50 range.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're 25 to 30 and marriage is not something that's on your radar, let me tell you, there are definitely some great reasons to be married.
Yeah.
Um, if for all the young guys, I'll tell you right now, there's nothing better in this world than being able to roll over and have sex in the morning. like, if for no other fucking reason, you know who the fuck is gonna be there in the morning. You know what she looked like on her good days and her bad days.
But
You know what she
not
looks.
that, but I just feel like tackling life itself. You know what I'm saying? Like when you by yourself, laundry got to get done. Them dishes got to get clean. The house need to get, tidied up or whatever. You have a partner, you got help, dealing with life itself, cooking dinner and stuff like that. Like, I cook dinner tonight, you cook dinner tomorrow, because being by yourself, it get draining doing every single thing by yourself. But Nicole said it's give
Hold
and
on.
take.
Yeah, go ahead,
Nicole
go
said
ahead.
it's give and take. The new ladies just want to take, which makes men think that we're all like that, and I hate it. And it's true,
That's
because a
true.
lot of these younger women, they think it's just like one side. The man's supposed to pay for everything. You don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So men just look at it like it's no benefit. I can be single and fucking with whoever I want to. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point they just feeling used. But you gotta equally take care of your man, especially if you have a man that's taking care of you.
Exactly. Put Angie's comment back up there, please. Thank you very much.
What
Yes.
she say? You getting
She
married
said you
again?
getting married again. Absolutely.
Okay.
So, um,
Yes,
being
Don.
transparent, my divorce was final earlier this month, and I,
Congratulations.
yes, yay. um, but I've been dealing with someone for a year and a half now. Um, and yes, I'm definitely looking to marry her. I am still a proponent for marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Two
Mm-hmm.
people who are building together, who have the same desires. Um, it's that's the romance for me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you look at somebody and you say, today we're here, but tomorrow we want to be here, and you understand that yes, there is a plateau. So don't ever think that you're gonna build for the rest of your life. You're not. There's a plateau to that shit. But just find somebody who's willing to be at this, who's willing to find the same plateau. Um, but but having somebody to build with, um, having somebody to look towards the future with
Mm-hmm.
is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Do I think that there's a timeline on to wait for a proposal? I feel like we've talked about this before. We have. Um, so the timeline, honestly, is the conversation
Yeah.
to find out why someone is waiting. Because some guys, and I have friends who they their hold up on getting married was saving up for a ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wanted to give her the absolute best, and they wanted to do it one time.
Yeah.
To that, I tell guys, if that's your holdup, the beautiful thing about rings is you can upgrade them. So if you buy a quarter carat diamond when they first get married, and then 5 years into your marriage, you upgrade it to a half carat,
Yeah,
and
your wedding
then
sorry.
she's always got something to look forward to because the marriage is ever changing, and she knows that as our love grows, so is my diamond growing.
Right.
So if your holdup is you're waiting for the right amount of money to buy the perfect ring, you'll be waiting forever because guess what? The ring that she deserves today, in 10 years, she'll deserve 10 times more. So now you got to save up that much more to meet that level.
Yeah.
Just
Or
pull the trigger, buy the ring. Pull the trigger
yeah.
and buy the ring.
I mean, the only other thing I could think out of a man wanting to wait is like maybe it's certain other things that he wants to accomplish. You know, like maybe he has a whole bunch of debt that he's trying to pay off, and he not trying to like come at you with it. You know, um, so
Which is
I feel
good.
like don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying like, oh, wait forever, because definitely conversation, like, you know, so he understands that like you're not waiting around forever, but also understand that I feel like when a man feels like his self is ready, you know, and he's accomplished certain goals that he set for himself, that he feel like, you know, like before you buy a house, you have to accomplish certain goals. You have to pay off all your debt. You have to have a certain amount of money saved up, you know, and it's kind of like that when it comes to, you know, asking someone to marry you. Even though it's like you propose to someone, no, you don't got to get married the next year. You can stay engaged for as long as possible. But, you know, we already know men think completely different than women. So, you know, I'm only assuming that some men will wait because they're like, no, I need to finish school first. You know, maybe they want to have you, they want to give you their undivided attention, you know. So, and that's not to say sit around and wait forever. You know, definitely
So
had that conversation.
when it comes to schooling, that's a good reason because you, I mean, when it comes to schooling, you are engulfed in books. You're
Yeah.
engulfed in your studies. But if it comes to if somebody's basically saying, "Yo, you know what? I want to make sure I want to make sure I'm debt free." Let's be realistic. Like the best way to get debt free is to get together, figure out your debt, and tackle it together. Um, and yes, you did not make it together, but that's when the unselfishness comes into play.
Mhm.
That's when you say, "Well, you know what? I know you didn't make this debt with me, and you know I didn't make this debt with you, but together we're gonna get together and we're gonna tackle all of our debt. We're gonna take all of our debt. We're gonna put the least to the highest, and we're gonna tackle that shit month after month after month. Because if you're sitting there going, well, you know what? Oh, I got $30,000 in credit card debt, and I want to wait till I pay it all off. Unless you're paying major chunks towards it, if you're paying the minimum balance,
Mhm.
you're never gonna pay it off. That means you're gonna have her waiting forever for what?
I
Um,
can I can agree with that because I definitely had a client that when she got engaged, she had some debt, and her fiance basically was like, you know, we were, you know, he basically like, I think he wanted her to move in with him so that she can strictly just pay her debt off instead of paying her rent, you know. So I can agree with that, you know, as like, you know, if you see this your partner, we're gonna deal with this together. So I can see that.
yeah. So as far as I guess I went a roundabout way on answering Ange's question. Um, as far as the timeline, I think realistically, and I hope that your boyfriend ain't gonna be looking for me to beat me up because I've been saying some crazy shit on the show. But I think 2 years max. If you're with somebody for 2 years, you know whether or not you want to marry them. And I really think at that time, there should be some conversations being had about marriage and not just it's been six. Have a conversation as to why, you know? Um, because if you have the conversation with him, he may have a really really rational reason as to why not. You know why he's waiting.
But
He
look,
says he wants to pay
she
off
said,
debt.
yeah, she said exactly what I feel like some men, because you got to think some men think different. Now, a man might be okay, right? If a man is where he want to be in life, I feel like a man will be okay with proposing to a woman knowing she has debt. But I don't feel like every man is gonna feel secure with them as the man, them as the head, coming into a relationship with a crazy amount of debt. And this is just what I think a man's mentality is. That's not to say that he couldn't meet a woman and a woman be like, oh, you got this amount of debt? Yeah, we're gonna deal with this together. But he might feel insecure about that. You know what I'm saying? As a man, so that might be something that he like, nah, I want to take care of this. You know what I'm saying? And even if he proposed to her and it's like, oh, she got debt, oh, we gonna get rid of your debt, But as a man, that might be some things that I feel like some men might not be comfortable with doing, coming to a woman with debt.
So when you come into a relationship with debt, it does it does create an aspect of problems. And the only question I would have at that point would be is, are you two already living together? Because if you're already living together, you're already sharing debt. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Like if the lights get turned off, they're not going to turn off your side of the house or his side of the house because he didn't pay the bill. They're turning off the whole damn house. So if you're already living together, you're already sharing the debt.
right.
Like living together is being married, and what some people think is it's being married safely. Because
Mm-hmm.
if we just need to walk away, we just need to walk away. That's what we're in an
Yeah.
apartment. I take my name off the lease. I walk away. That's it. We're done. Marriage is a little harder to get out of. As a matter of fact, marriage is harder to get out of than it is to get into.
Yeah.
Take it from somebody who it's a lot. Like I had to give them reasons for me to get divorced. I didn't have to give them reasons to get married. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, um,
I just feel
if you're
like,
living together, you gotta if you're living together, you're already sharing the debt. If y'all are spending a lot of time together, you're already sharing the debt. It doesn't matter.
it, but I feel like if because at the end of the day, some people don't want to put that burden on everybody, like regardless. Like some people is like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this together, but everybody don't have that same mentality. Like me personally, I don't think I would be okay with putting my stuff on with somebody else. Now, don't get me wrong, if we get married and if we have some sort of debt at that point, yes. But I feel like going into a relationship, I don't want to sit here and have all of this debt and baggage or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, going into it. I feel like I want a fresh, clean slate. We both be in good places. That's just me personally. So I would say with Angie, if that's his reason of, what I'm saying, he hasn't done it yet, and he understands that you do want to get married, I feel like the best solution is just to make sure that he's actively working on getting rid of his debt. Like he has a goal, he has a plan on how he's getting rid of it, and is he actually doing it? Because if he's just saying it and there's no action behind it, like how long are you really going to wait? And that's not to single him out, that's just me speaking in general.
I totally agree. I probably couldn't have said that shit better myself
Yeah.
because and I'm gonna give you from a man's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Statements without actions is just statements.
Right.
Um, and I've been guilty. I've been fucking guilty of that shit. I've been guilty of saying that I'm gonna do things,
Mm-hmm.
but never putting an action to it, and
Yeah.
it never gets done. And I'm like, well, I said I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
said it. You know what I'm saying? I made the shit sound good, so you should be happy with the fact that I made it sound good. You know what I'm saying? But that shit is it's not reality.
Yeah.
And you know, the best thing to do, and this is for anybody who's trying to alleviate debt. First of all, don't just say it. Don't say every paycheck I'm working to become debt free. And then the next paycheck, after you just blew that whole paycheck,
Right.
I'm working to become debt free.
Yeah.
So this paycheck, you know what? This month I got paid 3 times, and I have nothing to do with that third paycheck. I'm gonna go ahead and spend it. I'm gonna go shopping, but I'm working to become debt free.
Yeah.
Nah, if
I
you're
feel
working
like
to
I
become debt
honestly,
free,
right. I feel like two things I can say. I would say open up a second account, open up another bank account, and have whatever you say out of each paycheck. I'm gonna have, whether it's $20, $40 out of each paycheck go directly into this account, and that account goes straight to the debt. You pay that off every paycheck or at the end of every month. And then the only other thing is that something that someone taught me last year is like with the credit cards. Like if you have a credit card, I've been telling a lot of people this recently, but if you have say you have credit card debt, and with credit cards, the interest rates on credit cards is crazy.
yeah,
But if you open a new credit card, if you open a new credit card that has like no annual fee, and then you have no interest from 12 to 15 months, what you could do is transfer that debt from the credit card that you are paying interest on to the new credit card, so that you're not paying interest for 12 to 15 months, and you're just strictly paying what you owe. You know what I'm saying? And you can keep coming out with plan. You have another 12 to 15 months to say, okay, I'm gonna put this much towards the debt each month, or whatever case may be, and hopefully by the end of that 12 to 15 months, your debt is completely paid off, and you're also not paying no interest on it. You know what I'm saying? And if you
exactly.
had a little bit left over by the time the free, 12 to 15 months of no interest is, you can always do another credit card that's annual free, no interest. You know what I'm saying? But it's like having a plan. And the thing is about with debt is that I feel like everybody has some type of debt, whether you have a mortgage loan, a car loan, student debt, credit cards, whatever. It's just the fact that like actually dealing with it. A lot of people look at it like it's embarrassing. It seems embarrassing, but everybody has to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So
Like debt is debt is to me something that everybody has,
yeah,
especially in today's day and time. Like we live on debt. We
yeah,
finance our future. That's what the fuck
yeah,
we've been taught to do.
yeah,
Society has taught us to finance our future. So
yeah.
nobody's
With
walking into a
everything.
relationship debt free. It's
Yeah.
just not fucking happening. However, what you can do is you can and I was lucky enough to when during the pandemic when everybody was sitting the fuck still, I looked at all of my debt and I was like, yo, I can get this shit under control. Right
Yeah.
now, I can't move nowhere. I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
So all of my paychecks was going towards bill and my debt,
Mm-hmm.
bills and my debt. The only money I took out off the top for myself was enough money for my drinks, because
Mm-hmm.
during the pandemic you had to stay fucking drunk, and then what I'm saying, my
Yeah.
cigarettes. That was it.
Yeah.
Everything else went towards debt. Um, so Ange, I'll say this to you. Just friends of the show. We just talking. Let him know if, depending on what kind of debt, if it's credit card debt that he has. There's a couple of different companies that he can go through that he can pay off those credit card debt. This way, he consolidates them all into one payment. He pays less. It worked for me, and when I did it, because your credit card debt is your revolving debt, once I paid off all my credit card debt, I took out a consolidation loan, a debt consolidation. Paid off all my credit card debt. My credit score jumped 100 points overnight. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I have one place that I'm making all of the payments to. It's stretched out longer, so the monthly payments are less. So now what I'm able to do is, let's say for example, the payment is 150 per month. But because I know I was already paying 350 a month in credit card debt, I'm able to pay 200 per month instead of 150, and I'm paying that debt down quicker for the consolidation loan.
Yeah.
And all those credit cards are still there. They're at zero balance, but they're still there because you don't want to close them because you hurt your credit score when you close them.
Yeah.
So you keep them open,
Yeah.
and you may charge a fucking stick of gum to show them that you're gonna be active on the damn payment. Like the card is still gonna be active. So you charge something small like the groceries and you pay it right back off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you're
Yeah.
paying your that consolidation loan is stretched out for 60
Mm,
months, and you're paying, $100 a month as opposed to the 350 you was paying in credit card debt.
yeah.
So, you know,
And
we could do a whole show on just how to get the hell out of debt, because I think black people as a whole, we know how to get into debt. Oh, we
yeah.
can get into debt overnight, but we really don't know how to get the hell out of it, and we could
Yeah.
have a whole show just dedicated to that, because
Yeah.
it's something that we need to build on as a people.
Yeah. And the one last thing I want to say, Ange, is that like I feel like that right there is like really a test of your relationship to see if like, it's something that he takes seriously, because it's like this is the person that you want to marry, you know what I'm saying? So you want to see that, he has a plan behind it, because it's like, when you become married, y'all might buy things or whatever the case may be, and you gotta make sure, like, to me, it's the test. Just like when you get a place with someone before you marry, you see are they responsible paying bills and stuff. So just I feel like it's kind of a good thing because you can see his mentality, even waiting.
So Ange, and we gonna let you off the hook, but we shouldn't, because you put me on the hook on many days.
Nah, we
So,
ain't singling nobody out.
but well, we gonna let you off the hook after this one. The fact that he's taking care of his debt, and the fact that the debt is at the forefront of his mind,
Mm-hmm.
lets me know that that's a good dude,
Yeah.
and he's probably really gonna be a really good husband to you.
Yep.
It's just he has to. It's so easy to get your head below water. It's so hard to pull yourself back up. And even when you get your head above water,
Mm-hmm.
to a man, that's not enough.
Yeah.
If my head is above the water, that's not enough. If my feet are not on top of the water, I am still in a bad situation. And he doesn't want to draw you into that, which
Mm-hmm.
is which really makes him out to be a really good dude. And um, but we gonna have some more shows around what does it take to get ready for marriage,
Yeah.
um, because saying that you want to get married is easy. Engagement, that's just a ring. It's easy, but preparing your household for marriage is something totally different, because it takes a lot. So we're gonna have a whole nother show, just how to prepare yourself, even when you're single. When you're single and you're not dating any damn body, how do you prepare yourself?
He calling me
No,
out,
she did
y'all.
not just do the cha cha on y'all. Um, so how to prepare yourself so
Mm-hmm.
when you're ready to get married, it's that transition from being single to being married is not
Yes.
hard, because if you're single for too long and a guy comes along and he's like, "This is what you're gonna do," and you are like, "Who the fuck are you talking? I've been doing this shit by
Okay.
myself for years. Who
Okay.
the fuck are you talking?" I
Okay.
know y'all. I know all y'all. I
Yeah.
know all of
It's
the
a
bridges of the world. I know y'all.
Yeah. No, no, for real though. Like honestly, like I need to go to therapy. It's a lot of stuff I can say that I still need to do. You laughing, but I'm being real. You know what I'm saying? So I got a lot of trauma to come with me. And I don't want to put that on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I don't want to put that on nobody. Like, I still got a lot of stuff I want to work on within myself. And that's just me being real.
So definitely learn how to unpack your bags before you move into another relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I think that'll be next week's show, unpacking your bags. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, I'm gonna write that shit down right now
Yeah.
somewhere.
And I like your
Unpacking your
shirt,
bags.
Dawn. I like your shirt, and happy Juneteenth to
Happy
everybody.
Juneteenth to everybody. Yes,
Yes.
today we became free-ish.
Yes.
Um, so, yo, thanks everybody for tuning into the show. Nicole, Ange, Ray. There was one more. Hold on.
Yeah, it was somebody.
There was
Key. I couldn't see it.
Kay.
Hey,
Kay. Yes,
okay.
they. Yeah. So Kay, thanks so much for tuning in. If you
Yeah.
watch the show and if you have questions, first of all, if you watch the show for the first time, please hit the like and subscribe button. We definitely want to know, and that helps us with the algorithm of the YouTube world, and it keeps everybody in tune. Um, if you have comments or questions, leave them in the comments box below, and we can definitely answer those questions.
Mhm.
And it helps us with further shows. Me and dude gonna fight. Me and the dog.
Y'all like, don't say
We
that
about
on
to
camera.
box. Uh, we about to box. But thank you everybody for tuning in,
Thank y'all.
both live and after the show. Last week's show was a hit, and I'm hoping that we do even better for this week's show.
Yes.
Because last week's show we touched 120 people easily. So
Yeah.
let's keep doing it. Let's keep building.
Yes. I
Let's
love
keep
y'all.
building the community. And this community is all about everybody building up on everybody else. So
Yep.
it's all love. It's the threesome show. Be easy. We out, y'all.